YouTube fam, what's going on? It's been a minute. It's been a couple of days. I actually did not go live yesterday because I went to play golf, but guess what? I'm live this morning, top of the goddamn morning. It's 5:43 Eastern Standard Time. We got some voting going on in Michigan. That is going to be, it's going to be a big deal. I believe my man's name is Abdul Saeed or something like that. I believe he won the race in Michigan. So the blue wave is already starting, even though I am not a proclaimed Democrat. But I am pro or anti-Trump administration right now. You know, what we see going on, we just can't sit around and say, I'm okay with this. So with that being said, everything I see going on in the votes around the country, Texas, Michigan, Idaho, Iowa, places that have never been close to being blue, are looking quite blue these days. Smash that like button when you come into the live so we can get the algorithm up. We can get the YouTube recommendation suggesting that people look at this video. And we get to have more people to talk to, man. So share this live, smash the like button, and definitely subscribe to the channel. All right, man, let's get into it. I'm waiting on some mods for real. But it's early, so maybe we can beat the trolls. Let's go.
So a couple do's and don'ts. So one don't. So at our website, leavingmaga.org, we have a guide that we call Reaching Out. And in this guide are do's and don'ts on what to do with your MAGA friends and relatives. So a couple do's and don'ts. So one don't is don't try to persuade someone with facts and policy. Facts and policy do not move people. We, as a Homo sapiens species, people make decisions based on perceptions, feelings, and emotions. MAGA for me was almost a wholly emotional environment. It was not based on facts or based on policy. It was based on fear.
So y'all heard that. His MAGA mind state was not based on facts. Just like your MAGA mind state's not based on facts. It's based on a bunch of bullshit. It's based on bigotry. It's based on jealousy, envy, a whole lot of bullshit. Smash that like button when you get into the live. But this man is breaking down why when he was a MAGA, none of the shit that he believed in was based in facts. And I can't say it enough. Most of you are not based in facts. You love to cover up a lie, or you love to support a lie. So if somebody comes on here and says, hey, dude, I just seen a post that Ivanka Trump made that says that Donald Trump has a higher approval rating after a certain amount of time. I think it was like, matter of fact, let's just go to the tweet. I believe it's still up. Let me see if I can find it. Here you go. Ivanka Trump just posted this fucking lie. It was just announced that President Donald Trump, and she didn't say my father, and this might not even be her shit, but anyway, it was just announced that President Donald J. Trump has a higher approval rating 60 weeks into his second term than Barack Obama and George Bush at the same point in their second term. If you don't sit your ass down somewhere and stop fucking lying. Now, this is the problem with America right now. We got a whole sector of the country lying like a motherfucker. Just lying. I mean, lying like a motherfucker. And we know for a fact that this has been the golden rule of this administration from day one, is to lie. Oh, we got fraud over here. No, we got fraud in the main seat. We got fraud with inside trading. We got fraud with the Epstein files. We got fraud with every fucking thing that's going on with this administration. Yet this administration says, we've got fraud. Man, y'all some lying ass people. And then the MAGA supporters come and say, yeah, Trump does have an approval rating of 60. Yeah, Trump does have a higher rating than Barack Obama. Man, get out of here. You know why? Because when Barack Obama walks into a room, I don't give a fuck where he is. People stand up and clap. You know what they do when Trump walks into the room? Boo. Boo. So the people have spoken. You can beat your head on the wall and say Trump is more popular amongst who? Y'all little fucking red hat clan? That don't mean shit. That means nothing. Well, let's get back to it.
Feelings. It was based on my perceptions, feelings, and emotions. MAGA for me was almost a wholly emotional environment. It was not based on facts or based
No, your president's a fucking liar.
on policy. It was based on feelings. It was based on my perceptions. So all of the mythology of rugged individualism in MAGA is, and it was for me and is really BS, because MAGA is a wholly conformist and emotional community. And so we recommend that you avoid in your conversations facts and policy. And remember, as I said a few minutes ago, no one changes another person. The change has to come from the individual from within. But what we can be is we can be there for them when they start to have their doubts. So something that we can do is we can ask our MAGA identified friends and close ones and loved ones, why is it that they believe what they believe? So at our website, weavingmaga.org, we have a guide that we call Reaching Out. And in this guide are do's and don'ts on what to do with your MAGA friends.
Listen, y'all. We're gonna address everything today. Notice in the chat, you're a liar. You don't do nothing but lie. And you don't do nothing but listen to me. Thank you, you big dummy. Bet those black contractors he didn't pay don't cheer for Obama. Guess what? If all Obama did was not pay some contractors, which is a fucking lie, that would be a small thing compared to grabbing women in the pussy. That would be a small thing compared to lavishly laying back on the Epstein Island and on Epstein residence and claiming Jeffrey Epstein is your best friend in videos with fucking little ballerinas dancing around while Donald Trump clapping with his fucking dick hard. We got videos of Donald Trump saying that me and Jeffrey Epstein are best friends. We hang out with girls, mostly on the younger side. We heard all that. You lying motherfuckers. We heard all of that. Now look, two-system party is ruining our country, dividing us, united. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Because if you was united, bitch, you wouldn't be over there where you at, barking at the fucking moon. Or whatever the fucking case may be. Patrick. The fucking country is divided because you motherfuckers want us to support a person that we would not fucking support. And you support them. So we knowing that you're dirty as well. The two-party system. It's been a two-party system the whole fucking time. Shut the fucking lies up. It's been a two-party system the whole fucking time.
And relatives. So a couple do's and don'ts. So one don't is don't try to persuade someone.
Yeah, at least we have a fucking prostitute and not a respected goddess. Y'all the only motherfuckers who mad at Melania, because y'all the only ones mad at Michelle. But it's warranted. If I was you, I will be mad at Barack and Michelle too. Because I will be a fucking bigot. I'll be a person who hated motherfuckers who just better than me. And I will be a sad motherfucker just like you are. You mad at Barack Obama because he won gracefully. And your man looked like a fucking... He should be oinking in some mud some motherfucking where. He don't look good. He don't smell good. He don't speak good. He don't mean no good. So you got what you got, and you deserve every fucking bit of it. That's why your ass is losing the most. Trump being in office, the conservatives are losing more than anybody. It might be a fucking small percentage of y'all. Oh yeah, my stocks went up for the first time in my life. So fucking what? One little stupid motherfucker who's paying attention to a lying motherfucker came up on a couple dollars. But that ain't the whole country. That's you and a couple motherfuckers who play with stocks. But the rest of the country is fucking hurting. And even the people making stock advances, them motherfuckers still paying more for gas. They still paying more for electricity. Still paying more for fucking food. It does not matter. It don't matter. Nah, you need a tissue, and so does your president. Wipe your ass, man. Pit Bull in the house. I know it's going to be a great live. Early, too. Well done, Michigan. Well done, Michigan. You are the one crying, you stupid motherfucker. Did you hear that joy in my black voice? Michigan, of all places, flipped the script on dumbass Donald Trump. Oh, my God. Michigan got out of the shit pants game, and the blue wave had just started. And that's what they said it was going to be. I can tell you what, I ain't voting for Trump. We not playing. Democratic establishments, we pushing hard left. Hey, if it's the opposite of right, salute Michigan. Salute Michigan. And see, this is the whole thing about it, Pitt. Even if you're an independent, you're going to have to pick a motherfucking side, right? That's the great thing about independence. We the moral fucking standards of the country. People that's independent is going on what's morally fucking right. In my opinion. We got the biggest morals out of all parties. And at the end, the morals is what's going to win. Yeah, salute, Pitbull. You already know. Salute, salute, salute. So, leaving MAGA might be a good thing right now for some of y'all. Listen to the losers causing us losers. One thing about MAGA is they're going to call you exactly what they've been charged with. Whatever they've been charged with, they're going to call you. You're a communist. You're a communist. You're a Nazi. You're a socialist. You're a Marxist. You're a racist. You're a leftist. Shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck what a lying motherfucker called me. If your fucking tongue don't speak no truth, why would I give a fuck about what you call me? You're a Democrat. You're irrelevant. I'm irrelevant, but you sitting in your fucking funky ass house listening to me with bad breath and shit stains. Hey, Pitt. You're stupid. No. I'm talking what I feel. You're listening to what you don't feel. I can't make this shit up. I'm telling you that right now, though. One of the biggest fucking joys of my day is being able to tell MAGA how fucking dumb they are. I tell my people, man, do you know I get the ear of the stupid people every day? And you could just shut up and listen. But no, you gotta let me know you're here. So then I boom on your stupid ass. You know? Intelligence is free. Dumb shit costs you. I promise you, dumb shit costs you.
With facts and policy. Facts and policy do not move people. We, as a Homo sapien species, people make decisions based on perceptions, feelings, and emotions. MAGA for me was almost a wholly emotional environment. It was not based on facts or based on policy. It was based on
It was not based on facts. Hold up.
facts. MAGA for me was almost a wholly emotional environment. It was not based on facts or based on policy. It was based on feelings. It was based on my
Listen to the Republican. Hold on. Meanwhile, you believe you are a victim and don't realize the Democrat Party started the Civil War to keep slaves. Oh my God. I would tell you an even funnier thing, Pitbull, is mushy racist. Mushy racist, lovey-dovey racist, trying to act like you give a fuck about who started the Civil War to keep slaves. First of all the people involved was white. You keep talking about what party they was in. I don't give a fuck. I can look at the people that did it. Why the fuck I gotta look at what party they was in? Yo, y'all gotta stop. I'm way more intelligent than what you motherfuckers is giving me credit for. I done schooled you stupid motherfuckers, and you try and come in here and buddy talk me about slaves. Man, you better sit your fucking crunchy feet ass down and go fucking read a good book. I don't give a fuck about what you talking about. If you was back then, bitch, you would have been with them.
perceptions. So all of the mythology of rugged individualism in MAGA is, and it was for me and is really BS, because MAGA is a wholly conformist and emotional community. And so we recommend that you avoid in your conversations facts and policy. And remember, as I said a few minutes ago, no one changes another person. The change has to come from the individual from within. But what we can be is we can be there for them when they start to have their doubts. So something that we can do is we can ask our MAGA identified friends and close ones and loved ones, why
are you so dumb?
is it that they believe what they believe? So at our website, leavingmaga.org, we have a guide that we call Reaching Out. And in this guide are do's and don'ts on what to do with your MAGA friends and relatives. So a couple do's and don'ts. So one don't is...
Listen, y'all, these smart motherfuckers got acronyms. They have acronyms and things. Liberal. Says a trailer park, 3 teeth, 1 propane tank. Shut your dumb ass up.
Don't try to persuade someone with facts and policy. Facts and policy do not move people. We, as a Homo sapien species...
Motherfuckers who sitting around supporting the motherfucking pedophile is trying to tell people about morals and telling people who started the Civil War to keep slaves. Man, shut the fuck up. The Civil War started because motherfuckers got on that bullshit. And there was revolts going all around the country. They was cutting motherfucking slave owners the fuck down. Tennessee, Maryland, Virginia, South Carolina, Florida. Matter of fact, South Carolina wasn't even a fucking state yet. but they was cutting motherfuckers down. There was revolts every motherfucker where. They had to let them motherfuckers go. Wasn't no fucking, oh, we just feel morally like this is wrong. How the fuck would you feel like that when you just made millions and millions of fucking dollars off some shit, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere you just gonna say this ain't right and we gonna let these motherfuckers go? Or did they bust your motherfucking head so many fucking times and show their strength that you let them motherfuckers go? Or you got the fuck out the way for you got your chin cracked? Some shit just don't make no sense. So while y'all sitting around trying to tell me who ended slavery or started the Civil War, bitch, you would have been right there lobbying for the same shit the South was lobbying for. So shut the fuck up. I want to hear your little fake ass concern. Your fake ass concern talking about you voting for the party that... Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Bunch of dummies.
People make decisions based on perceptions, feelings, and emotions. MAGA for me was almost a wholly emotional environment. It was not based on facts or based on policy. It was based on feelings. It was based on my perceptions. So all of the mythology of rugged individualism in MAGA is, and it was for me and is really BS, because MAGA is a wholly conformist and emotional community. And so we recommend that you avoid in your conversations facts and policy. And remember, as I said a few minutes ago, no one changes another person. The change has to come from the individual from within. But what we can be is we can be there for them when they start to have their doubts. So something that we can do is we can ask our MAGA identified friends and close ones and loved ones, why is it that they believe what they believe? So at our website, leavingmaga.org, we have a guide that we call Reaching Out. And in this guide are do's and don'ts on what to do with your MAGA friends and relatives. So a couple do's and don'ts. So one don't is...
Here's the most terrible thing they say. There are too many people on the planet.
As a black man, why are you voting Democrat?
Because they're better for the economy, and I care about the economy.
Given the fact that, history has its own gruesome, background and whatnot, and we both despise the Ku Klux Klan, correct?
Yes.
But, the Democratic Party is the one who started it, right?
When?
Let me tell you that right now. Hold on, I'm about to tell you right now. Started back in 1865.
Okay. Are you aware what happened and where primarily the Ku Klux Klan was operating?
Tennessee.
And the South, right?
Yeah, I would consider that the South.
So those Southern KKK folks were voting for Democrats, right? Okay. So can you tell me why, after the passage of the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, they immediately started voting for Republicans?
What party started it, though?
That's not what I'm asking you.
What you're saying is true.
So there's a reason why in the 1960s they started voting for Republicans. And the reason why is because they were mad at Democrats for passing the...
All right. I'm glad he said that. So whoever made that stupid ass statement talking about the Democratic Party, yada, 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 let's back this shit up.
Civil Rights Act. So the same... I'm asking you.
What you're saying is true.
So there's a reason why in the 1960s they started voting for Republicans. And the reason why is because they were mad at Democrats for passing the Civil Rights Act. So,
okay. So white people, y'all got mad at the Democratic Party and started voting Republican because of the Civil Rights Act, right? That's the part y'all dummies leaving out. You talking about what party did what, but what the fuck did you do as white people? Oh, you switched. Oh, interesting.
the same people put those Democrats in office started putting Republicans into office to fulfill their agenda because they were mad at the passage of the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act. So the Democrats that you are mad at for starting the KKK are the Republicans of today.
But it's a
Suck a dick. So y'all sitting over this motherfucker. But the Democrat Party is the one who voted to get you a slave. No, those motherfuckers are Republican now. You fucking dummy. Look, excuse for everything. Bitch, it's not an excuse. It's facts. Go ask your grandfather. Ask your great-grandfather, motherfucker. He'll tell your white ass.
Say the Democratic Party is the birthplace of the KKK.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Because the descendants of those people are the ones that the Republican Party is today. Those people are Republicans.
As a black man, why are you voting Democrat?
See? Even black people be dumb to the fact. But it's not that he's dumb to the fact. It's that he been in one of these fucking MAGA think tanks on why he should fucking like MAGA. And they told him that stupid shit, and he repeated it. But you got to come up against intelligence before you realize, bro, they just telling you some shit, so you shut the fuck up and keep that red hat on. Whole time, the Democratic Party that was back then changed the Republicans, you stupid bitches.
Because they're better for the economy, and I care about the economy.
Given the fact that, history has its own gruesome, background and whatnot, and we both despise the Ku Klux Klan, correct?
Yes.
But, the Democratic Party is the one who started it, right?
When?
Let me say that right now. Hold on, I'm about to...
Trump been wrong 80% of the time, you dumb bitch. Go look at his court cases. He only won 20%. What the fuck are you talking about? That's the shit I'm talking about. Whatever the truth is, say it about yourself. Whatever the lie is, say it about your enemy. It's simple with you simple motherfuckers. Again, Donald Trump has lost 80% of his cases. Lost. So if he's winning, how in the fuck did he lose 80% of his cases and only won 20%? So somebody comes in the chat and says Donald Trump is right 80% of the time. How? Y'all see this shit? I love it. It just proves to me that you know the truth and you plan on being stupid on purpose. Good job. But it don't make you look smart, sir. It just make you look like a fucking child.
Right now. Started back in 18...
You should find God.
People hearing without listening.
Healthy people can accept being blocked because healthy people don't believe they're entitled to unlimited access to you. That's one of the biggest lies we've been taught. We've been told if somebody's...
What's good? And you know what's crazy, right? We be our own worst critics.
A pastor says the truth, the whole truth, says America has never been a Christian nation and never will be. Here it is.
There has never been a Christian nation. You don't live in one now. A Christian nation would never have killed and displaced 20 million Native Americans who are still left out and living in poverty. A Christian nation would never have thought that owning slaves was pleasing to God.
Boom.
Or that it lined up with Scripture in any way, shape, or size.
So shut that God bless America, God bless Trump shit up. Every time y'all say that shit, all we see is some fucking evil motherfuckers, bitch.
And we not only practiced it, but we were so obsessed with it that we went to war about it. We had a civil war. And in that civil war, 500,000 Americans died. That's more than Americans that died in World War II or any other war we've ever had. Our own civil war. We killed 500,000 of our own people so people could have the right to own other people as property.
Preach, man of God. See, that is my brother. The reason he's my brother is because he expresses my values, okay, and seeks to protect them. That is your brother. That is your sister. Another pastor named Rob Fuquay would rebuke Christian nationalism. Here it is.
Very well, and we have a conflict with Iran, and that's working out very well, very, very well. So now I'd like to ask Jennifer Hegseth to say a few words, followed by Pete, General Kane, and then I will sign the executive order putting this into play. And it's an order that's putting this into play, and it's an order that's long overdue as far as I'm concerned, like by decades. And we're going to do a real job with it. And Jennifer, if you will, please.
Well, Mr. President, you have been a champion for the military, and we are so grateful for that, and that continues today. And like you said, these are generational issues that are long overdue to address. And we have the most amazing women here who have decades of experience as military spouses themselves to take a look at it. There's really nothing we're going to find that they haven't experienced. And so between what they've experienced and what they know, we're going to really tackle these things. And I've spent the last year traveling around, meeting with military spouses and families around the world and around the country, and it's the same from Kentucky to Singapore. It's housing, it's healthcare, it's employment, it's childcare, it's education, and so we're going to take a look at all of those things. Even one of the women up here, I won't say who, but was a paramedic, and as they moved from state to state, she could not get the license. Switch to that state in time before you move again, before you PCS. And it makes it really difficult for these families to survive, let alone all the other sacrifices we're asking for them. So this is a big deal today. We're super grateful. Every time Pete travels around, Secretary Hegseth travels around to the troops, he tells them, the President has your back. And now the families know that you have their back too. And we are grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Great job. Thank you. How about you say something first, and then we'll go back into the general. You're not going to top it.
I can't top that, Mr. President.
Give it a shot. You're not going to.
Good job. It's true. Strong families equal strong formations. I mean, when you look at it from a military perspective as a secretary, our job is to make sure our troops are prepared and ready on behalf of the nation. And if your family's not taken care of, then it causes hesitations and complications for the warfighters out front. And so we say often, and we mean it, no soldier, no Marine, no member of the Joint Force serves alone. And so if we can address the issues of housing and make sure it's quality housing, make sure employment opportunities are maxed out, make sure child care is taken care of, make sure DODIA or DOEA schools are the best in the world so that our military kids are being educated, the trade skills they might want to take the next chapter in life. If that warfighter knows that their family is good to go, they will go the extra mile, which is what our nation asks. So we're in for this. Is not one of those window dressing efforts. Jen's right. This entire group has mountains of experience, and they're raring to go to put it to use on behalf of the great Americans who serve our nation. And this is going to be full speed ahead to address every quality of life issue we can. Which, Mr. President, you invested in the one big beautiful bill. People don't know how much went into housing and into barracks and into pay. That's a down payment. And now with the $1.5 trillion, which we're working to get every dollar of, it's going to be a generational investment in barracks, in housing, in healthcare, in pay, in ways no commander-in-chief has ever done before. So, Mr. President, thank you for leading on this, and the commission's ready to go.
Well, thank you very much. You're doing a fantastic job. General, please.
Mr. President, Mrs. Hegseth, Secretary Hegseth, it's an honor for me to be here today at the launch of this commission. As we stand here now around the world, military service members are out doing our nation's business and ready to do what is asked of them. The foundation of American military readiness is the families, and the backstopping of all of that is the military spouses that serve behind them. Inevitably, every time somebody deploys, that refrigerator will break down, the car will break down. You think we're strong. American military spouses are 10 times stronger, and the lift that they carry is significant every single day. I want to thank this commission for the work that they're going to do to help improve military families' lives and military spouses' lives. It is a critical enabler for American warfighting capabilities. So to all of you here and all the work that went into putting this commission together, thank you. And Mr. President, we're honored to be here today.
Where will they be meeting when you have meetings? Because you're going to be having a lot of meetings. Do you know where you're going to be meeting?
Every
Jennifer?
month here at the White House.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
We can't do better than that.
Can't do better than that.
Use the Oval Office. Would anybody like to say anything? Maybe Desiree,
hear all
you can
those
start.
fake
And then
ass
if
laughs.
you want to say anything?
A bunch of fake ass laughs. Wasn't shit funny.
Great time to say it. Please,
Absolutely.
Desiree. Go ahead.
Well, I'll just be really short. It's a pleasure for me to serve as the executive director of this commission. I think it's a long time coming. It's a little bit of a pet project out of my office, simply because we have the Chief of Staff of the Air Force's wife that has been inspirational for this. She's a 41-year spouse. But collectively, this group has over 400 years of experience as an active duty military spouse. 400. And they've probably moved about 300 times. So if you can imagine that level of experience coming to this commission and solving real problems for the future of our military spouses and families, it's just an incredible thing that you're doing, President Trump, actually asking them to solve these problems and give you good recommendations, and we're happy to help them do that.
So, you know, we have Desiree's been with.
Exactly, Pitt. A bunch of fucking yes men. That was funny, President. That was so funny. That shit wasn't fucking funny. He didn't say shit funny. They scared of that motherfucker. Smelling like piss and shit in that motherfucker.
Us for a long time, and she's directly and indirectly done what she's doing for a long, long time, covered numerous presidents. And
what's the most reliable?
Let's talk about it.
So here at our clinic, we are recommending hyperbaric
Smash that
oxygen
like
therapy
button, y'all.
to
Double tap
just
that
about
screen.
all of our clients, right? Because we
you
are
want to
helping.
hear MAGA get fried? Stay right here. Subscribe to the channel and donate if it's possible, because we're gonna be slashing their ass.
This is a breaking news alert. The Midas Touch Network can officially call it. Abdul El Sayed will go on to win the Michigan Senate primary for the Democratic Party. Let me repeat this again. The Midas Touch Network can officially call Abdul El Sayed will go on to win the Michigan Senate primary, beating his opponent, Haley Stevens, who was given lots and lots of money, over $60 million by outside groups. Abdul El Sayed will go.
Egyptians for Trump.
On to victory. NBC is calling it as well. Moments ago, Mallory McMorrow, who was one of the opponents in the Democratic primary, she dropped out early, leaving it as a two-person race between Abdul El Sayed and Haley Stevens. Well, McMorrow just came out with a very strong endorsement of Abdul El Sayed after we can officially make the call that he will go on to win the Michigan Senate primary, and he will go up against the MAGA extremist Mike Rogers. Mallory McMorrow just posted the following message. McMorrow endorses Abdul El Sayed. Congratulations, Abdul El Sayed, on winning the Michigan Democratic primary to be our nominee for the United States Senate.
Do y'all know how mad this shit make MAGA to somebody named Abdul Sayed? One motherfucking Michigan. Do you know how y'all know what Michigan is? Pontiac, Michigan, y'all. We ain't talking about motherfucking Chicago or goddamn DC. We talking about Michigan, one of the most American cities in the world. Y'all, Michigan flipped on Trump. Huh? Michigan.
Abdul has my full endorsement and support.
Abdul. A motherfucker named Abdul won in Michigan, y'all. If that ain't telling you some shit, god damn.
This was a brutal primary.
Abdul.
Believe me, I know. She was in it. And Trump and Mike Rogers are counting on us to stay divided. Let's prove them wrong by beating Mike Rogers and taking our country back. This was the moment that NBC made the call as well. Let's play it.
This is an NBC News special report. I'm Steve Kornacki. American voters in 5 states hit the polls.
Yeah, it might be a lot of Muslims there, but I don't think they could swing the vote. No. A lot of conservatives had to vote for this man. You can't just make conservatives disappear, but you can make them change their mind and change their vote. It had to be a lot of Republicans voting for this man. I don't give a shit what you say. MAGA's in trouble. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Rafa B. I believe that I didn't know that it was a lot of Muslims in Michigan, but I'm just saying that the people of Michigan, the majority of the people of Michigan had to vote against Trump.
On Tuesday, and I've got some...
Or against his interests. I ain't going to say necessarily against him, but against the Republican Party.
Major results to share with you, starting in the state of Michigan, where Abdul El-Sayed has won the Democratic primary for the United States Senate. He defeats Congresswoman Haley Stevens. This was a very close race here. You can see there are still a scattering of votes to be counted, but El-Sayed currently...
But Russia is. China is. Motherfucking Afghanistan is. Like, make it make sense. Who you can clearly see nobody's our friends. Have you been paying attention, sir? He said Islamic trash everywhere. They ain't our friends. Motherfucker, did China come to help you clear that motherfucker straight? Did anybody in the world come to the rescue of the United States? NATO, no. Not one fucking country. Your president lied to you and told you he's talked to several nations who said they on a motherfucking way with troops and motherfucking ships ready to fight. Nobody stepped up and said, hey, that was me. Somebody could have been a bitch and said, you know what? Or I ain't even gonna say be a bitch. I'm gonna say somebody could have stood up and said, that was me. But if you did that, you would be doing that for the rest of your life, fucking with Donald Trump. Yeah, they said they were going to come and help. I've talked to several nations who say they're going to send ships. And no fucking body came. So stop believing somebody your fucking friend or our friends. His friend. I guarantee you this, if Obama was at the wheel, they would have came. If Clinton was at the wheel, they would have came. If Bush was at the wheel, they would have fucking came. But, they ain't come for him, though. What that mean?
Beating Stevens by 2 points out.
Teddy Scheifler posts. Here's the final New York Times numbers on Haley Stevens versus Abdul El-Sayed. 6 outside groups spent $62 million for Stevens, giving her a 9-to-1 spending advantage over Abdul. Half of that Stevens spend, $32 million, came from AIPAC's Super PAC. AIPAC Super.
Hey, Rafa, I'm seeing it. Yeah, that's a big Muslim culture. Huge. Never knew that.
Super PAC spent more than any single group has in a federal Democratic primary this cycle. Now, MS Now and others spoke with voters during the day, and voters were talking about how They don't want their money going to fund never-ending wars. They don't want their money funding Netanyahu's genocidal regime. We heard that voter after voter, and obviously voters were also focused on affordability. They don't want data centers in their backyard. They don't want their health care being ripped away, and they don't want an authoritarian regime that covers up child sex trafficking rings. And they don't want ICE and Border Patrol Gestapo roaming the streets and killing people in this country. Let me share with you right now, as the MS Now reporter spoke with a white female Michigan voter who considers herself to be a very moderate voter. And here's why she said she voted for Abdul El-Sayed. Here, play this clip.
I just wouldn't want a single of our family's tax-paying dollars to go towards something like that. It's like giving money to violence.
So would you support a Senate candidate, in this case Haley Stevens, who's more of a moderate like you tend to like, but would that be enough?
That would definitely turn me off as 100%. I couldn't. I would vote for a communist first.
More voters speaking to MS Now right here. Let's play this clip.
Are you the last one of the day?
Yes.
I think we should talk quietly still because we're in the voting place and we're not really supposed to talk politics, but how did it go?
It went pretty good, I think.
How were you the last one and why?
Let me tell you, I started to vote earlier this morning, but I went to the wrong place.
And so you finally made it at the very last second.
At the very last
It's a
second.
huge contest. Abdul El-Sayed versus Haley Stevens. Who got your vote in here?
Abdul.
Why?
Fence upgrade. No more fish over the edge. Perfect. The blocks stay put, so the hammers...
That just shows Abdul. I think he...
Are you ready for a change? Is that what this is about?
For one,
So
yeah,
many people.
definitely.
One of the things I want to ask you about is, and tell me your name again, I'm so sorry.
Donna.
Donna. Would you go for Haley Stevens in the general election if it wasn't Abdul El-Sayed? I've heard from people time and again that in the general, they're ready for the other candidate if their preferred candidate tonight doesn't win.
Yes.
And that's because why?
One again, just ready for a change.
And Donald Trump and the Republican Party is what you're wanting to change.
Yes.
Donna, you're a pleasure. I'm glad you got in. The doors were closed right as you walked in the door. I'm going to let you go home. Donna, it's nice to meet you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you.
Okay, be safe.
All right, now.
See ya.
I thought this was a very interesting analysis right here from the Progressive Change Campaign Committee's co-founder, Adam Green. Here's how he puts it in perspective when he was on C-SPAN. And then I'm going to show you Abdul Sayed's speech that he gave before we or NBC could officially make the call. Abdul El-Sayed came out and gave a speech, but he essentially knew he was going to win when he gave the speech. But first, let me show you Adam Green.
Michigan is ground zero in the battle for the future of the Democratic Party. What we have here are two competing theories of the case for electability in the general election, and we consider this a chips on the table moment. One theory of the case, the Chuck Schumer theory of the case, is that the best way to be electable in the swing state is to have a status quo politician. In this case, Haley Stevens, Congresswoman, whose campaign is basically being bankrolled to the tune of $60 million by APAC, crypto, big insurance, big pharma, big energy companies. And for some reason, that's supposed to appeal to independent voters who don't like
60 million down the motherfucking drain. I wonder who lost that. They put 60 million behind that bitch and she still lost. Was I telling y'all, MAGA? You still got time, MAGA. You better fucking jump off the train. That bitch crashing fast. But your ass ain't got long. November be here soon.
Their political party and think they're both bought and paid for. Our alternative theory of the case is that Dr. Abdul El-Sayed is a shake up the system economic fighter. People believe him when he says he wants to fight to get money out of politics, put money in people's pockets, and fight for Medicare for all. And we believe that that is the kind of message, especially in this outsider moment, that is needed to attract independent voters in November. So what we're seeing tonight is a Democratic Party referendum on that question. We believe that if Abdul El-Sayed defeats $60 million of outside spending, it will send a signal to every Democratic politician across the country that it is okay to cross very powerful interests because you can still win if the people are on your side. That is what is needed, especially at this moment as we're fighting Donald Trump. And then in November, when he wins this swing Senate seat, we hope it sends a really important message to some of the voters that you and I have both met on the campaign trail. Scared, well-meaning electability voters who just don't want to mess things up in 2028 as they select a presidential contender in 27-28. And we hope that they realize, oh, it's okay to vote for someone inspiring. Because yes, you can have a former CIA operative named Melissa Slotkin in a place like Michigan, but you can also have a guy named Abdul El-Sayed who is fighting for Medicare for all and fighting to shake up the system. Right. So that is our goal with this race, and the stakes could not be higher.
Okay, now let me show you Abdul El-Sayed's victory speech, although he didn't fully know at the time that it was going to be called in the evening, as we've called it, as NBC's called it, as others have called it. But here's what El-Sayed had to say. Here, play this clip.
But I also want to speak to this moment. We've got 13.
Hey, Rafa, hell yeah, they deserve a public shaming. They getting it right now, to be honest with you. Hey, Rafa, welcome to the channel, man. I hope you subscribe.
Weeks to defeat Mike Rogers. And however we might feel about the campaign we've just come through, I want you to understand that it pales in comparison to the cynicism, in comparison to the corporatism, in comparison to the lies that Mike Rogers and Donald Trump are going to tell. There is so much more that unites us. However much we might disagree with our Democratic opponent, there is so much more that unites us than divides us. And so to all of our supporters here tonight, watching on TV, tomorrow we begin to mend fences. Whatever happens tonight, we have a responsibility to assure that we unite to make sure that Mike Rogers never sees the inside of the U.S. Senate. And I'm going to ask, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm going to ask all of us, as we think about where we go from here, always magnanimity in victory.
Man, if you don't sit your petty ass down somewhere.
So if your instinct is to be like, I told you, no. Let's come together to build a movement that's even bigger, that's even stronger, that's even more powerful, that reaches into the very depths of this state, that reminds us the best of who we are and who we can be. That is the commitment I want all of us to be making as we leave here tonight.
More from Abdul right here. Let's play it.
And because you had the audacity to believe in that, you know that the billionaires, the corporations, and the special interests, they weren't going to give up lightly. We all knew they were going to spend their money. We didn't know they were going to spend $70 million of their money. We didn't know that they were going to outspend us $11 to $1. And yet we're still standing. They want to tell us that here in Michigan, we're a purple state. That somehow everybody walks around wondering, I wonder where I stand on a left-right spectrum. When really, up and down the state, what you hear is, I wonder how I can afford my rent. I wonder how I can afford my groceries. I don't know what will happen if I get sick because I can't afford my deductible. We are not a purple state. We are a state in need of a movement to take our politics back. And despite their spending, despite their lies told in ad after ad after ad after ad on TV, we're walking into the rest of this evening with a 3-point lead.
Now, I had the opportunity to interview Abdul El-Sayed early on in the election and right towards the beginning of Trump's catastrophic war, and we had a conversation about it. So it was about 4.5 months ago. Let's play this clip.
Ben, I appreciate you covering this and being as extensive in the coverage as you have been. This is an illegal, unjustified war, but somebody's got to pay for it, and that someone is us. We're paying for it to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars and counting. Money that should be spent to provide for our own children here at home. You mentioned the destruction of a girls' school by an American missile. We paid for that missile that got dropped on those kids and dropped on their school. Now imagine what would happen if instead of dropping a missile on a school over there, we were dropping that same money into schools over here, or investing in our infrastructure, or addressing the fact that people can't afford their health care. There is an opportunity cost to war. Donald Trump has never had to actually pay for it. He's never put anything of himself on the line. So for him, this is just another day doing what Donald Trump does, which is enriching himself and his family at the cost of the American public. I just filled up my gas, and this should be the least of our worries. But think about this: $1 more per gallon of gas every single day that people have to fill up across this economy. It is increasing the price, not just at the gas pump, but I looked at diesel. That's $5 a gallon. Diesel is what powers our trucks. Diesel is what takes our foodstuffs into our grocery stores. You're going to feel that cost in our grocery stores. And so, talking about the destruction of people's lives over there, the destruction of our livelihoods here, all for what? So Trump and his goons can trade on the probability of stock markets that they're manipulating to make money from themselves while the rest of us pay. It is insane. It's wrong. It needs to stop, and we need to hold him and everybody who empowered this accountable.
And then we had part of our discussion on just the trying to recognize shared humanity and how MAGA just so cruelly treats human beings and how they are a death cult. Here, let's play it.
I'm a doctor by training, and there's something about medical training that reminds you that humans are visceral. We're real. We're flesh and blood. Our temperature is all the same. The way that skin feels, we all know that feeling. When you look in somebody's eyes, you know what that lights up inside of you. This administration is the most online administration we've ever seen. And there's something about the online world that I think decimates our foundational humanity. It makes us think that everything in the world is transacted via screens. When children are killed in their schools, those are real children's bodies that go cold. When we fail to provide people healthcare in this country, they die earlier. Those are loved ones that we'll never again get to see. And that is what's happening across the board. This gamification of this war, the kinds of memes that they're putting up there, they're meant to continue to draw upon the worst instincts of what an online fake simulacrum of reality is meant to make us think about everyday people who suffer the cost of this. And I think it's really important for all of us to remember our humanity in this. These are choices that are being made about real people, and they're being made at the cost of helping and protecting real people here at home. Real people pay the price of this. And so when we hold our mother's hand and look in the eyes of our grandparents and cuddle our children, just remember that that is the same human emotion that we ought to be thinking about every single time this administration drops a bomb or empowers a foreign government to drop bombs or fails to provide for our own kids.
MAGA, that's how fucked up y'all are, MAGA. And we don't need motherfuckers like y'all making decisions. The kids ain't safe. Women ain't safe. Children overall ain't safe. Our tax dollars definitely ain't safe. So we don't need you vile motherfuckers making decisions for the whole fucking country. We tried that. It didn't work.
Or our families here at home. That humanity is what suffers. And we need a politics that reminds us that people are at the heart of what our government ought to be about empowering. We need to be spending our money here at home to make sure our people can afford healthcare and our kids can go to good schools and we can breathe clean air and drink clean water. And at the same time, we also need to make sure that our tax dollars are not being used to devastate the lives and livelihoods of people abroad. That's what we're trying to build in this movement here in Michigan, a politics of people, by people, for people, rather than of special interests and corporations and for them. And because that's unfortunately what's led us into this mess. Make no mistake, this war is, yes, Donald Trump's to own, but it was pushed by a number of special interests who make a lot off of this. Whether you're talking about the weapons manufacturers who are making money hand over fist off this war, or you're talking about AIPAC, a MAGA-funded special interest group that is meant to align our interests with the interests of a foreign government abroad. We don't benefit, but there are people who do, and we've got to make sure that those folks have less power in our government. Otherwise, that humanity that you're talking about is going to continue to be forgotten in the public policy that we push.
So there you have it, folks. Abdul El-Sayed will go on to win the Michigan Democratic primary, defeating his opponent, Haley Stevens. You saw the Mallory McMorrow endorsement of Abdul El-Sayed right there. Congratulations, Abdul. It was great to have him on early on. And as he said, it is a time to unite. It is a time to bring people together. It is a time to fight against the fascist threat coming from these MAGA extremists. You got Mike Rogers, a MAGA Republican extremist who, frankly, in my opinion, hates the state of Michigan. He hates the people of Michigan, and he will enact more of Trump's agenda that kills the people of Michigan. And I just think it's that simple, in my opinion. Hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you.
Hey, if you want the full story, how democracy got here and how we take it back, pre-order our new book, WTF America, today. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Let's do this.
But MAGA, hold on, ADHD. I'm glad you bringing this up. MAGA is supporting the motherfucker that you're saying is the problem. So is MAGA part of the problem? If MAGA is supporting, undyingly supporting the person that you're saying is the problem, then that means MAGA's part of the problem. And they're the biggest part because the support that he's getting from MAGA is the only fucking support he's getting, period. So if he's wrong, why would MAGA support somebody that's wrong or somebody that's the problem? Answer that for me.
You're watching The Legal Breakdown. Glenn, Donald Trump just got some bad news at the hands of a Republican judge. Can you explain what just happened in court?
Yeah, Brian,
You know who the fuck he is. Yeah, he's the new guy in Michigan that beat out your MAGA lady or fucking Republican lady. So I wish you would stop trying to separate MAGA from Trump. You can't. You cannot separate MAGA from Trump or Trump from MAGA. Y'all chose to take the fucking deep dive with this dude. And now y'all are synonymous. You can't separate that shit. You saying MAGA, you saying Trump. You say Trump, you saying MAGA. Only way you can fucking get away from Trump is to leave MAGA. You can't separate it, bruh.
Another ruling from a Ronald Reagan appointed judge who's been on the bench for 40 years declaring that Donald Trump's executive orders are illegal, unconstitutional, and void. And I'll tell you, I don't know that I have seen a judge go quite so scorched earth in his language on Donald Trump, and I'll get to that in a minute. But Donald Trump issued 2 executive orders revoking funding for research, and these were with the National Institute of Health, the NIH, for 2 groups of people, racial minorities and LGBTQ plus folks. And this judge, William Young, a federal court judge up in Massachusetts, not only declared that Donald Trump's executive orders targeting these 2 groups of people were unconstitutional. But Brian, I'll tell you, I can't do justice to Judge Young's outrage without reading 3 very short quotes. The first one, the judge says, quote, "I have never seen a record where racial discrimination was so palpable. I've sat on this bench for 40 years now. I've never seen government racial discrimination like this." Quote number 2, "I am hesitant to draw this conclusion, but I have an unflinching obligation to draw it that this represents racial discrimination and discrimination against LGBTQ community. That's what this is. I would be blind not to call it out. My duty is to call it out." And one last quote from Judge Young, quote, "You are bearing down on people of color because of their color. The Constitution will not permit that. Have we fallen so low? Have we no shame?" That's some of the choice quotes from this Reagan-appointed judge about Donald Trump's unconstitutional executive orders.
How unusual or unorthodox is that kind of language from a judge, notwithstanding the fact that he was a Republican-appointed judge, and so it's going to be difficult for the party of Reagan to be able to circle that square. But just in general, how often do we see that kind of language?
Brian, it is extreme.
Tom Slack. It's okay to love Trump, but what good is it doing you? What good is it doing anybody outside of people who just love him? You can love him. I know what you love about him. The only way you could love somebody like him is to be somebody like him. Now, with that being said, what fucking good is he doing as the president? Fuck, I love goddamn Bobby Brown from New Edition, but I don't want that motherfucker to be my president. I love motherfucking Wesley Snipes, black ass. But I don't want Wesley Snipes to be the fucking president. I love Martin Lawrence. I love Pimp C. Well, I don't want that motherfucker. You know what? He'd probably be a better president than Trump, though. He'd probably be a better president than fucking Trump. Because he's not very presidential. A man that said many. That's not a fucking president. That's an idiot with a lot of money. That don't mean this motherfucker can be a president. He's a good businessman. That motherfucker businesses was on dubs. All of them. You been to Atlantic City lately? Anybody been to Atlantic City lately? I know the fuck you haven't. Unless your ass is trying to get some exercise walking up and down that boardwalk. But ain't nobody gambling in that raggedy motherfucker. That shit is a ghost town. You might see real tumbleweed out that bitch. They probably got grass growing on the motherfucking sidewalks. Because ain't nobody out that motherfucker. He created that bullshit in opposition to Las Vegas. You seen Las Vegas lately? Las Vegas is thriving. New Jersey is fucking... Bro, that shit is a relic. It look like an old amusement park out that motherfucker.
Extraordinarily rare. For 30 years, I appeared before judges in the military, in civilian courts, in state courts, in federal courts, in trial courts, and in appellate courts. And people may not know, in the courts of Washington, D.C., not only are all of the federal court judges appointed by the president, but the 65 judges who sit on D.C.'s local court.
We ain't talking about New Jersey, motherfucker. We talking about Atlantic City. I'm talking about the boardwalk that Donald Trump was so invested in. That shit is a failure, is what I'm saying, as a business. Who the fuck can't sell casinos? I ain't seen name another casino in the fucking country or another strip, a gambling destination that fucking fell apart. Name one. It ain't none, except Atlantic City, New Jersey. This motherfucker, New Jersey is in a blue city, a blue state. So you so fucking ignorant and uneducated that you don't even grasp what the fuck I'm talking about. I ain't talking about the fucking state. I'm talking about fucking Atlantic City. Dum-dum.
The Superior Court for the District of Columbia are also all presidentially appointed judges because D.C. is a federal city and not a state. I have probably appeared before more federal court judges than almost anybody else. I mean, I can't prove that empirically, but I'll bet it's pretty damn close. Judges don't talk this way. Yeah. Even when lawyers, prosecutors, defense attorneys, civil practitioners make outrageous claims or outrageous arguments, judges don't talk this way. They're thoughtful, they're measured, they're circumspect.
Bon White, did you go to Atlantic City? Did you see that fucking relic?
Even the most irascible judges tend to kind of pull back a little bit. They don't use language like that. But when you have a veteran of the federal courts for 40 years who says, listen, this is my duty. It's my duty to call this exactly what it is, blatant racial discrimination by our government, by the Trump administration, and blatant discrimination against the LGBTQ plus community. You know, what has pushed him to do that, just as other judges have done, is just how brazenly unlawful and unconstitutional Donald Trump's conduct is.
At Vistaprint, we know you've got that idea for your business, like the one that nails the trade show, levels up your brand, or makes your team say, we're really doing this. But an idea is just an idea until it's printed on signage, giveaways, custom apparel. Once it's in my hands, on my team, out in the world, then it's happening. It's so
Do we have any indication as to whether Trump is going to appeal this ruling, or is there some concern that if he appeals it and it's upheld at an appeals court, then it becomes precedent that could have some impact on future executive orders?
You know, Brian, based on what we're hearing from some of the White House spokespeople, I am certain they're going to appeal it because they're spewing out the same old garbage. Oh, this judge is biased. This judge is using his own political views and ideology to attack Donald Trump, which kind of makes no damn sense given that he was appointed by Ronald Reagan. So
I mean that's something that they throw out every opportunity they get. They claim that, you know, Robert Mueller and his team of Robert Mueller, a lifelong registered Republican, and his team of Republican prosecutors was just a band of angry Democrats. So
yeah, which is insane. I mean, Bob Mueller was my homicide chief for 2 years, and I worked shoulder to shoulder with him every day. The man was a Republican through and through, but he did not let politics interfere in his prosecutorial work. But, you know, of course, every judge that rules against Donald Trump, and they're ruling against him by the estimate of one political scientist from Stanford, 96% of the time, they are not only Republican-appointed, Democrat-appointed judges, but they're Trump-appointed judges. You know, all Donald Trump.
Again, what does that mean, y'all? Is Trump-appointed judges are fucking making judgments against him. And y'all talk about we crying? For what? This shit is hilarious. His own judges blocking him.
And his mouthpieces have is to attack them as lunatics and deranged, which really, I don't even know that fools the gullible at this point.
So in terms of next steps here, this executive order was declared null and void. And so what happens next? What happens to the funding that was stripped away? What happens to the people who worked on this issue that were fired? I mean, where do we go from here?
That's a great question, Brian, because not only did Judge Young declare that this was illegal and unconstitutional, so they were null and void, he also ordered NIH to immediately restore the funding to these two programs. So that...
Hey, Steve James, I'm you know, I feel you on that.
Is, I'm sure, something that not only will the Trump administration want to appeal, but they'll want to file for an emergency stay. How many times have we danced this dance? And, first, Judge Young will have the opportunity to decide whether he wants to stay or pause his own ruling. I'm suspecting he won't. And then Trump will run up to the appeals court and ask the appeals court to put a temporary, even if only administrative stay, which has nothing to do with the sort of quality of Judge Young's ruling. It's just sort of a temporary hold while the appeals court gets to decide the issue. So I am sure that, we've seen this movie before, and I'm sure that is the way this one will play out as well.
Is there any indication as to whether we would see a stay granted at the appeals court in very much the same way that we're seeing that happen in other cases? For example, in California, when Gavin Newsom and the Attorney General out here sued the Trump administration for federalizing the National Guard and sending in the Marines, Judge Breyer, I believe it was, granted that temporary restraining order. That was stayed by the appeals court. And so do you have any idea as to whether what goes into account when they determine whether or not they're going to stay these decisions by trial courts?
Brian, I'm going to say, unfortunately, a pattern is emerging. It is no sort of small potatoes when a trial court judge issues this kind of a sweeping condemnation and ruling when it comes to executive orders of a president of the United States. I mean, it's kind of a big deal in legal circles. And I think most appeals courts get a little bit weak in the knees, even if they read the opinion, whether by Judge Breyer in the California National Guard case or Judge Young in the case we're discussing now. They are kind of loath to let it stand because it is of such sweeping consequence. So, I think the pattern that we have seen emerge is that the judiciary likes to be circumspect in the way they approach this issue, and they kind of want to be on the firmest possible footing if they're going to let these trial court orders go into effect. So I suspect we're going to see that happen again.
Well, I presume some of that is the result of the longtime deference that these judges have paid to the Department of Justice, because usually the Department of Justice acts in good faith and oftentimes doesn't even take cases that it's not going to win. But in this case, when we're seeing a Department of Justice and an administration that has so quickly burned through all of its goodwill by virtue of all the illegality and corruption that they're trafficking in, does that change the calculus a little bit for these judges, where instead of kind of the default position being deference to this administration, now they have to think about the fact that this administration is not acting in good faith and is trafficking in so much illegality that maybe deference should be paid to the folks who fight against this administration?
I think the answer is yes. I think the Department of Justice, as you said, has squandered its good faith. The judges ordinarily will look at federal prosecutors and believe that they are acting in good faith. They have the evidence to back up the assertions they make in court. They have the law on their side. They actually are taking care not to trample over the rights of the people that are enshrined in the Constitution. They have squandered that, And just as the Department of Justice ordinarily runs around pounding its chest that they, win 99% of the time, albeit in criminal cases, they talk about having a 99% conviction rate, even in civil matters. The Department of Justice wins in the overwhelming majority of the cases. But when you start going into court as a DOJ lawyer and making just purely bullshit arguments, and the judges see right through them, your goodwill is gone. And when you're losing 96% of the time, that has to impact the way a judge will sort of approach each case when it has to do with an allegation of Trump administration.
Yes, everybody is not feeling this president except for MAGA. That's why ADHD can't come in here with that. Do you blame MAGA? Yes, motherfucker, we blame MAGA for all of it.
Illegality.
And finally, let's finish off with this. We know that the issue at hand here are health-related grants, and so obviously there is some degree of urgency in making sure that this is restored, or at least that this whole process is litigated and adjudicated in some timely manner. And so do you have any idea of how long this is going to take before we have, some decision on next steps here?
Yeah, and Judge Young actually made a comment that, this impacts the health of two populations in a discriminatory manner, minorities and the LGBTQ plus community. So I have a feeling we're probably going to see within about 24 hours the Trump administration seeking both a stay and filing a notice of appeal. Usually, there are different time frames to file notices of appeal. Usually it's about 10 days, sometimes it's 30 days, but I don't think the Trump administration is going to wait around. We're probably going to see something filed as early as tomorrow.
Okay, well, first of all, be on the lookout for the Trump administration attacking yet another liberal, communist, Marxist judge that was appointed by Ronald Reagan, basically the father of the modern GOP. But with that said, we will, of course, stay on top of this case as it continues to play itself out in the courts. For those who are watching, if you'd like to follow along with this case and other legal news, please make sure to subscribe. The links to both of our channels are right here on the screen. That's the best way to support our work and the best way to support independent media more broadly. I'm Brian Tyler Cohen.
And I'm Glenn Kirshner.
You're watching The Legal Breakdown. You're watching The Legal Breakdown. Glenn, we have a big update as far as one of Donald Trump's top henchmen are concerned, where his law license may now be at risk. Can you explain what just happened?
Yeah, Brian. Ed Martin, our viewers will probably remember that name. This is the guy that Donald Trump tried to make the top prosecutor in Washington, D.C., the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia, and Ed Martin proved to be a bridge too far for the Republican-controlled Senate.
This is the world's smallest PC with a built-in touchscreen, but is it any good? Let's find out. Under the hood, it's packing the new Intel N150 with 12 gigabytes of fast DDR5 RAM. It's basically a desktop workstation that fits in your palm. The touch.
Donald Trump had a psychotic meltdown late last night in Los Angeles. He was here in my home state in order to grift and grift and grift. He was on the tarmac getting on Qatari Air Force One en route to Las Vegas, where he's going to grift even more. And he was asked questions during this impromptu press conference. And he had a psychotic meltdown on the tarmac. And then before that, he interviewed with state regime media Fox and also had a psychotic meltdown there as well. This is all happening while Donald Trump is surrendering to Iran, as Iran is negotiating a deal with Oman for Iran to control the Strait of Hormuz, to charge tolls, to supervise ships coming in and out. Donald Trump wants to take credit for the Iran and Oman deal, which is close to being completed, so Trump and Bessent and this regime of Epstein-class sickos can manipulate the markets even more. Donald Trump is incapable of doing a deal, so he's just going to take credit for the deal between Iran and Oman, which gives Iran control of the Strait of Hormuz, and Trump's going to spike the football and say, "We did it! Mission accomplished." Now, as I reported last night, this comes at the same time that the Houthis were able to strike within Dubai at a port city there. This follows 3 tankers in the past 48 hours or so being struck in the Strait of Hormuz by Iran. Iran also struck a U.S. base in Kuwait and shot down an MQ-9 Reaper, and the United States completely ran out of its interceptors, its THAAD and Patriots, and Navy destroyer anti-ballistics, and it is reached a cataclysmic point for the United States military. Trump has bankrupted our military just as he has bankrupted his companies and all of the things that he has touched throughout his life. So, Donald Trump on the tarmac, he's asked, is Jeanine Pirro safe? Are you going to keep her in her position as the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia, that top federal prosecutor in Washington, D.C., or are you going to fire her because she dismissed the felony criminal case against 2-time Olympic canoeist David Hurd, who was framed with fabricated evidence by you, Donald Trump, and Doug Burgum from the Department of Interior, saying he vandalized the reflecting pool? Are you going to fire Jeanine Pirro for dismissing that case? And Donald Trump's like, I haven't made a determination yet, and maybe he will fire her. We've been reporting first on the Midas Touch Network that we believe the decision was already made to fire her or to have her resign. I'm sure we will hear that very soon, that she is gone. Bye-bye, Jeanine. Let's just play this clip of what Trump just said. Let's play it.
Told her I was not happy.
Is she safe? Are you going to keep her in the position?
I haven't made a determination.
Then Donald Trump is asked, do you have any comments about MAGA Republican Congress member Max Miller, who has been accused by multiple women, including his ex-wife, of very serious abuse. He's also been accused, or allegations, of abuse towards his daughter, also abuse allegations against prior girlfriends. Max Miller interviewed with Jake Tapper on CNN. Tapper actually did a good interview. And Max Miller said, Donald Trump called me. He calls me Maxie. I'm going to stay in this race. I'm going to keep my position. I'm just like Donald. He gets accused of things. I get accused of things. That's just who we are. And here Donald Trump says, I hope things are able to work out for Max Miller. I hope he's able to work it out. I feel badly for him. You feel badly for Max Miller? How about feeling bad for his ex-wife? How about feeling bad for his daughter and the other women who have accused him of abuse? How about even, and I don't like this guy at all, but Bernie Moreno, the MAGA Republican senator from Ohio, the father of Max Miller's ex-wife. So Bernie Moreno, this MAGA Republican senator, is Max Miller's former father-in-law. And he said that Miller is a psycho, that Miller needs psychological help, that Miller is a threat to his daughter, and that Miller should lose his job. We also heard from a lot of other MAGA Republican senators who said Miller needs to go. But Trump says he feels bad for Miller. Here, watch this clip.
I hope he's able to work it out. I feel badly for him.
Then Donald Trump during this real psychotic meltdown. I mean, I don't know. You can describe this however you want to, but to me, this is psychotic behavior. And I don't want to use the term psychotic to let Donald Trump off the hook for his maliciousness. No, Trump's a war criminal. He should go to prison. He deserves to be tried in The Hague. That's 100% my view. That's my opinion. But here, Donald Trump, just so you can see for yourself as well, claims he saw the vandalism. Just the way he sees negotiations with the Ayatollah. He saw the vandalism himself. He said there are tapes. You can see the vandalism taken. There are no tapes. There are no tapes. This statement alone should be 25th Amendment territory. It should be more severe than the 25th Amendment. Honestly, this guy should be taken out of the White House or taken out of this tarmac in a straitjacket. And in California, do an involuntary 5150 hold on him for real. Listen to him say he saw tapes that don't exist of the vandalism. I mean, a real sicko. A real sicko. Here, play this clip.
Well, I just think she was totally wrong. They did a beautiful job. There were a couple of little things, but that was not a big deal. And everybody saw the vandalism. All you have to do is look at the tape. If you look at the tape, plus we have a witness or two witnesses that saw the vandalism. So certainly when there was vandalism, it was actually, in my opinion, it was major vandalism. And I told her I was not happy.
Is she safe? Are you going to keep her in the position?
I haven't.
So then the reporter says, all right, Donald, so where are we on Iran right now? And Trump goes, I'll let you know in 48 hours. I did a 48-hour deadline. You're going to let us know in 48 hours? You're not even doing anything anymore. Iran is negotiating with Oman. The United States is not involved in these negotiations right now at all. The United States just wants to take credit for an Iran-Oman deal that gives Iran control over the Strait of Hormuz and has nothing to do with denuclearization at all. Here, play this clip of what Trump said.
We're moving along very nicely. We'll find out. We'll know in 48 hours.
Now, before Donald Trump got on Qatari Air Force One, can you believe I'm even saying that? Qatari Air Force One? That Air Force One's now a Qatari jet. You have the White House lawn look like a junkyard. They did a shoddy construction work on the helipad. They have to...
That motherfucker said, I seen the vandalism tapes.
Rebuild the helipad right there. The East Wing is probably all asbestos ridden right now as they build a freaking drone port and turn it into a...
Your president cares about vandalism. That's who. Vandalism that didn't happen, which is even worse. That's who cares. I don't care, but the president does. This motherfucker got way more shit to worry about than some goddamn reflecting pool. Why are we even wasting money on a fucking reflecting pool? or golden ballrooms and statues and all kind of dumb shit that y'all don't seem to mind this motherfucker spend, and we pay for it.
Military base because Trump is terrified that Iran wants to kill him. There are, Fox is reporting on new assassination threats regarding Donald Trump. They're pulling that again.
Yeah, it has effect on all our lives, you fucking dummy. Gas is high as a bitch. We paying extra taxes on shit that we don't fucking need, and the country don't need. Yeah, it's affecting all of us, you dumbass.
I guess in order to get sympathy or for him to build the drone port, who the hell knows? But Donald Trump, before he gets on the tarmac, was with state regime media Fox. And then Donald Trump said, and let me tell you what every American family needs.
We don't give a fuck about vandalism. DC got vandalism. Plenty of it. But the vandalism he talking about is the pool. We ain't talking about spray paint, buddy. Man, go sit down somewhere. You came in the chat very unimportant, and you ain't talking about nothing of substance. You're dismissed.
What do we need, Donald? Healthcare? Yes. Education? Yes. Affordable groceries? Yes. The ability to pay rent? Yes. Affordable gas prices? Surely you're going to say that, right? No. Every American family needs a data center in their backyard. And if you want to get really rich, you need data centers right in your town, right in your backyard. That's what Trump and MAGA wants to do. Data centers in your backyard. This is what he says. I'm not being hyperbolic. Watch what he says. Here, play it.
I think any community that turns down AI is making a big mistake because your taxes are going to go way down. If you own a house, it's going to be more valuable. Mm-hmm. It's a tremendous thing. And I see it, it's almost like there's a campaign against, data centers. Mm-hmm. But data centers, if you look at the stats, everything's good around them. Now, the thing they should look at is blue states and blue cities, cities run by Democrats.
Then he can't even say a sentence without being a freaking weirdo. He's like, the Islamic Republic of Iran. Dude, what are you saying, man? Just be normal. Why can't we have a normal human being in this position? This is the presidency. I don't know how other people just are humiliated by this creature, by this freaking loser gremlin who walks around. I've seen the tapes. Republic of Iran. Dude, stop. Just stop it. I think everybody's just like, WTF, America. What the F? Name of my...
Ben is tripping. Just stop it, dude. Just stop it.
Book with my brothers. Pre-order it now. But WTF, here, play this clip.
$1 a gallon, $2.50. It was down to $1.85 before I had to make this little journey to the Islamic Republic of Iran. I had to make it. We had the best numbers that anybody's ever seen.
All right, then Donald Trump says that he deserves an A+ on the economy. Costs are down. Everyone's great. We're in a golden age. He says A+. Here, play this clip.
And they're all coming down now. The food, the groceries, it's all coming down. We've done a great job. I think we should be given an A+ on the economy, but I think that's coming. People are starting to talk about it.
By the way, he made a social media post as well.
Remember to fetch yours from the holla.
As he was having this psychotic meltdown saying, we're in a golden age, everybody's rich, Americans are thriving, everybody has homes, everybody has health care. It's never been better. That was his post. It's I don't even read. You get it. He writes the most psychotic post. Then he says, we had a very good day today with Iran. Very good day. Iran likes to say that we're not negotiating with them, but we are negotiating. It's like Trump's forcing himself in a negotiation onto Iran. And Iran's like, dude, get away from me. We're not negotiating with you. We're not talking to you. I mean, just think about the posture right now of how embarrassing this is for the United States. That Iran keeps publicly saying, we're not talking. And Trump's like, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Dude, you look like you look like a stalker.
Prices are not coming down. You got to stop the line. Joanne, you lying like shit. The prices ain't coming down. The gas ain't coming down. The gas is actually going back up. $4.10 on average. It might even be higher than that today. It was 425 yesterday. It's been steady at like 409 or 410. But the average around the country is $4.10.
You're like a stalker. He is a predator, right? He is a sexual predator, right? How else do you expect? He's a sexual predator because he was found civilly liable for sexual assault. Then separately, in a criminal case, he was found criminally liable for business records. So he's a felon in a separate case for like business records. And then he's been found civilly liable for, and he's bankrupted everything. I guess this is how they behave. Here, play this clip.
With the war, we have a very good day today. They don't like to say that. The Iranians, they always like to say, we didn't discuss that. People have found out that's not true. They had an all-day negotiation today, and it looks like things are very good. And if that happens where the Strait is opened up, they'll never have a nuclear weapon. But if the Strait opens up, and it's partially opened anyway, and as you know, we control the Strait totally through the blockade. But if we have no friction, then oil will go down to, I think it'll go down to $2.50 a gallon, $2.50. It was down to 185 before I had to make this little journey to the Islamic Republic of Iran. I had to make it. We had the best number.
Then Donald Trump talks about how he has TiVo, and he likes the guy who he's interviewing with, and he saves it on TiVo. Let's play this clip.
They don't want to talk about it, but they're having no choice. And again, whether it's Laura or Sean or Jesse or you have such a good show. I watch you all the time.
Thank you, sir.
Sometimes they tape it and watch it. It's okay. It's I don't know what they call it today. They used to call it TiVo. Maybe they still do.
Yeah.
But I love TiVo or its equivalent.
DVR.
But you do.
That bitch said TiVo. That's y'all motherfucking president. Hey, listen, man. This man just said TiVo or its equivalent. That you gotta, yeah. He's dumb. Fucking TiVo. Man, I forgot about fucking TiVo. That shit's so fucking old, man. The motherfucker might as well said VHS or Beta. That's how old TiVo is, you dumb motherfucker. That's our president, y'all. Donald Trump is the president. Y'all remember that cartoon, motherfucking, our cartoon president? That shit was funny.
You do a great job.
Thank you,
really
sir.
Good. Or maybe they Sean or Jet.
The guy who he's interviewing with, and he saves it on TiVo. Let's play this clip.
They don't want to talk about it, but they're having no choice. And again, whether it's Laura or Sean or Jesse or you have such a good show. I watch you all the time.
Thank you, sir.
Sometimes they tape it and watch it. It's okay. It's I don't know what they call it today. They used to call it TiVo. Maybe they still do.
Yeah.
But I love TiVo or its equivalent.
DVR.
But you do a great job.
Thank you,
really
sir.
Good.
TiVo.
We are back with Katie Zachariah, Caroline Sunshine.
Then the reporter says, so if Iran backs out again, are they done? What do you mean, are they done? What's the stupidest question? Are they done? Are they done with what? They're winning the war. America abandoned all of its bases in the Middle East. The Middle East nations are telling the United States, you don't have the interceptors to protect us. Our military is leaking that we've run out of THAAD interceptors and PAC-3 interceptors and SM-3s and anti-ballistics from the Navy destroyers, and we don't have our equipment anymore. What do you mean, are they done? America lost. America's done. And I say this as a patriotic American. America lost the war to Iran badly. Iran kicked our ass. We should never have been involved in the catastrophic war in the first place with Netanyahu, and having our military under the command of an idiot, of this gremlin creature thing, loser, bankrupter, scumbag Trump, and this regime of Hegseths and Lutnicks and Epstein class, predators. You lose. They're losers. But here's the question. Are they done? What do you mean, are they done? They won. They won. It's over. They won. Here, play this clip.
This whole world would be a different place.
If they back out.
Aww. You gonna buy some groceries, big man? At Publix? Ooh. 'Cause I can afford it. Who the fuck can afford it, bitch? But But do I want to pay more? Fuck no. You stupid dummy. You could be a moron all you fucking want. You can be a half-wit, a twit, goofball. I'm just trying to tell you that it don't make no sense to be doing all this shit for what? Because you don't want the files come out that your man is a greasy little freakazoid? Nah, fuck that. We paying for an unnecessary fucking war that we already knew we couldn't fucking win. Dumbass. Paying for a war that we already knew we couldn't win. They told his ass, don't go fucking with them boys, and he did it anyway. Now you done got uppercut, you got a black eye, your teeth cracked, you got blood dripping down your throat, and it don't taste good. It don't taste good, but the military is feeling the real punches. He's sitting back, shitting the pamper in the White House. So, yeah, it don't make no sense. And you dummies crying because you ain't over there. You need to go sit your broke ass the fuck on that front line and get bombed the fuck up. You need to be over there. All your aggression and shit that you got on the internet, take that shit to the war and go fight. I think every fucking MAGA red hat motherfucker should be over that bitch on the front lines with nothing but a hat. Because that's all the fuck you got here. And you think you got something. You ain't winning shit. You ain't getting shit. You looking real dumb. You're paying more prices than you was paying yesterday. And individually, you could say, I could afford it. I could afford it too, bitch. You think I ain't driving every day? we driving, ain't nothing changed. It just costs more. For nothing. And I don't feel like the American people should be paying for a war that's unnecessary. Because y'all don't want the motherfucking files come out. Guess what, nasty asses? The files coming out anyway. Katie Fang got him all fucked up. Them files coming out unredacted. Yeah, cry, cry, cry. Whine, 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 MAGA. We hear you. Subscribe to the channel. If you want to hear MAGA crying every fucking day saying a bunch of dumb shit that proves that they're uneducated, just tune in. We got plenty of exhibits of stupidity. The president just said he records his shit on TiVo. It's 2025. I can't even remember when TiVo was out. That shit was like the 90s or some shit. Maybe the early 2000s. But TiVo, bitch, you got to be stupid. I ain't trusting no motherfucking body with the whole country that's still talking about TiVo. You gotta be dumb. You gotta be stupid. Hey, Pitbull, they triggered. Yeah, I record my stuff on TiVo. Or the equivalent of TiVo. DVR, dummy. Socialism is gay. What is socialism? Do you even fucking know? Hey, Pitt, we got they ass flustered today. Smash that like button. Double tap that screen. And subscribe to the channel if you want to see MAGA get filleted daily.
And are they done? Well, if they back out again, they're going to get hit really hard. You know, they know that. They understand that. I have no choice. They can't have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. It's not like, gee, let's, think about something else. No, it should have been done by many presidents over many years, and it was.
And Trump's like, I had very good discussions. Here, let's play it.
Hit them very, very hard, but the hard hit is yet to come, and hopefully we won't have to use it. I hope we won't have to. We're having very good discussions. They don't like to admit that, but it's a little bit.
What up, Pitt?
Disconcerting.
What you see?
You tell people like you, we're having wonderful discussions, and then some guy will come out of Iran and say, we have not met, we have not, it's just such a lie. All day long, you understand, it's just incredible. We didn't talk, they'll say, we didn't talk about nuclear. Well, what do we talk about? We're sitting there twiddling our thumbs, right? So, but it doesn't matter, that's talk. The only thing that matters is action, and they want to make a deal. We'll see what happens. If they don't make a deal, it's going to be too bad.
And then the question keeps going back. At what point do you just say enough is enough and there's no coming back? And Trump's like, I've got plenty of time. Here, play this clip.
At what point do you say enough? And there's no coming back for Iraq.
Well, I have plenty of time.
And the way Donald Trump refers to the earthquake in Venezuela, which killed thousands of people, he's like, they had a tragedy the other day, but things are great now. I guess you can call what happened an earthquake. And by the way, I have serious red flags. I'm not getting into a conspiratorial lane because, I have no cause and effect that the fracking and the drilling and the kind of massive trauma caused to the ground could triggered any type of, seismic activity. I mean, there are studies that do talk about connections between fracking and seismic activity. I have no connection here. But I do find it fascinating that you had this very rare forequake, then earthquake, which is a very rare sequence. And then also, Delcy Rodriguez, the authoritarian leader in Venezuela, was spending most of her time awarding medals to Trump and to Trump's people. And I think their disaster recovery was slow and shoddy and really hampered the ability to rescue people. But, that's my perspective and my opinion watching it. Let's play this clip.
Out hundreds of billions of dollars. They're taking out hundreds of billions of dollars. It's a different place. It's actually become, they had the tragedy the other day with the problem, as you know, but that was a terrible problem. The earthquake, I guess you'd call it. It was a bad one. But outside of that, they have a country that is a very happy country again, but we...
And then, of course, you don't have a Trump psychotic meltdown without him attacking former President Obama and saying Obama was taken to the cleaners with Iran. Could you believe what Obama did? He did a deal. He did a real deal. A complex, complicated deal on paper, written, thousands of pages, very specific things, international coalitions. It dealt with denuclearization. It dealt with dilution. It dealt with the actual issues. And so now, what the hell are you doing?
Uh-oh.
All right. Let's go. Dude, yeah, no, I saw that shit, dude. We're going to scroll up. We're going to get it. We got a couple in here. Dude, Elf kicking us off saying, get your son real clothes. It's difficult ignoring to getting a job in the East Coast. Let's go. Let's go, Elf. Thank you. Dude, let's go. I actually was fucking chit-chatting today because we ended recording session and I was going up north when you go to East Coast, and I don't care. We can figure out another time. Love you, boss. Let's go, dude. Elf! I love that you're going to LA, dude. Thank you, boss. Dude, that's amazing. Dude, yeah, we'll fuck.
In Genesee County. Okay. Wow. Okay. Thank you, Adam. Still a ton to come here. Not a ton, but that's a good amount. That's only about 3/4 in. And Stevens just got another. What was that update? How did it break?
So it was 12,000 votes, 54% for Stevens, 41% for El Sayed.
Yes, that's about a 1,500 vote plurality for her. Again, with more to come. We said the math I was using there, right? They're saying, boy, this could get really dicey here for El Sayed. The math I was using there said the remaining vote out of Genesee, could it get her between...
Welcome back to Midas Defense. I'm Chris Goldsmith, Army combat veteran, president of Valor Media Network, and executive producer of Hellcats. This is the 6th episode of Hellcats, and for the first run of the series, it's our finale. So it feels appropriate that Maura Sullivan and Rebecca Bennett spend this episode answering the question that should sit underneath every political fight we're having right now. What are we actually fighting for? Because resistance by itself is not a vision for the country. And right now, the stakes are very real. 18 American service members have been killed in the war in Iran. More than 500 have been wounded. Yet, months into this conflict, the president still has not clearly defined the mission, what victory looks like, or how this war ends. Congress has repeatedly failed to exercise the authority the Constitution gives it, while military families continue to carry the consequences. At home, families are dealing with rising costs. Businesses are struggling to plan around erratic trade policy. Young people are increasingly wondering whether they'll be able to afford a home, raise a family, or build the kind of life their parents were promised. Those failures matter, but this episode is not about the failures. It's about what comes next. What would America look like if we actually governed around the lives people want to build? Paid family leave, affordable housing, education.
Oh boy. The unredacted Epstein files appear to have been handed over to the Honorable Judge Emmett Sullivan, a senior judge of the United States District Court of the District of Columbia. He will be the one to determine whether or not these redacted...
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. We got breaking news. Hey, listen, y'all. Y'all see this? Do y'all see this? Unredacted Epstein files have been released. Senior Judge of the United States District Court for the District of Columbia. Yeah.
are valid. After 2 attempts to get a stay or delay, Attorney General Todd Blanche complied with a court order to hand them over. Thank you, Katie Fang.
Told y'all. Hey, fuck what y'all talk about. Get with this news right here. Fuck all your whining and crying, bitch. The ship is going down, and it's going down fast. Shout out to Katie Fang, who dropped heat on these motherfuckers to put pressure on Congress and pressure on the courts to get this shit resolved. Fuck all of this illegal shit. And see, lawyers are not going to play no games, and they're going to get shit done. Y'all better pay attention, shut the fuck up, and stop your blood clot crying.
Could this be it? Could the suspected predators finally be actions are valid? To the Honorable... Oh boy. The unredacted Epstein files appear to have been handed over to the Honorable Judge Emmett Sullivan, a senior judge of the United States District Court of the District of Columbia. He will be the one to determine whether or not these redactions are valid. After 2 attempts to get a stay or delay, Attorney General Todd Blanche complied with a court order to hand them over. Thank you, Katie Fang. Could this be it? Could the suspected predators finally be exposed? This would be a huge win for the fight.
Elon Musk retrofitted 500K of his robots with the latest military gear. One robot, 50 men. It's 2026. The next move is checkmate Iran. Fight this. Man, shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Against our giant trafficking problem in the United States. Human trafficking will never stop without accountability for traffickers. Human trafficking will never stop without accountability for traffickers. Be sure to smash that follow button. Caddis is the nonprofit apparel company that fights human trafficking in the United States.
You, sir, saw the black woman on the ballot, and you said there was no way in God's earth I'm going to vote for a black woman. I'm going to Make America White Again. That's how stupid you are.
MAGA.
You went to the voting booth and voted and said, I don't know, I have a convicted felon, an adjudicated rapist who owes E. Jean Carroll $80 million, has dinner with white supremacists, caused an insurrection, and you said, I'm a dumbass. I don't care about morality. I just care about me and maintaining whiteness.
Tell him again, sir. Hold on.
Caused an insurrection, and you said, I don't know, I have a convicted felon, an adjudicated rapist who owes E. Jean Carroll $80 million, has dinner with white supremacists, caused an insurrection, and you said, I'm a dumbass. I don't care about morality. I just care about me and maintaining whiteness. LBJ said it best. This country will vote for the most morally bankrupt white man who's literally stealing your wallet over the most qualified black man. And that's exactly what you did. You don't care about anybody but yourself. You, sir, saw the black woman on the ballot, and you said there was no way in God's earth I'm going to vote for a black woman. I'm going to maintain Make America White again. That's how stupid you are. You went to the voting booth and voted and said, I don't know, I have a convicted felon, an adjudicated rapist who owes E. Jean Carroll $80 million, has dinner with white supremacists, caused an insurrection, and you said, I'm a dumbass. I don't care about morality. I just care about me and maintaining whiteness. LBJ said it best. This country will vote for the most morally bankrupt white man who's literally stealing your wallet over the most qualified black man. And that's exactly what you did. You don't care about anybody but yourself. You, sir, saw the black woman on the ballot, and you said there was no way in God's earth I'm going to vote for a black.
Listen, the world has now changed forever for Americans, and it's going to change a lot more. And I don't think most Americans realize this. But let me tell you a little bit about history. Okay. And if you're old like me, you'll go, oh yeah, I remember this, right? And if you're not and you're young, you should just sit there and shut up and listen. Because let me tell you something, history is about to repeat itself. And it's going to be scary as fuck, you guys. It really is. Like, listen, like as Americans, we've been protected since World War II. Okay. And here's the thing, man. The only reason that America emerged basically unscathed from World War II was because of its geography. That's it. That's it. I mean, we've got the perfect geography, and that's the only reason why. And so basically what happened is like all of the winners and the losers of World War II were fucking decimated, man. Like, every place was decimated except the United States, right? And so we started basically this whole like help rebuild everybody else kind of deal with our land leases, and we made money off of it, of course. Of course, right? And we became a superpower. Because we were the only fucking Western country like still functioning, right? And so at this time, what happened basically is like Americans started to develop this sense of security, right? There was a big boom in the economy after the war. Americans were happy. They were buying houses. They were this, they were that, right? And we developed this false sense of security. That's really what it was. Like, before this time, Americans were hardy. They were tough.
If you have 1,000...
I've been noticing for years that the Trump cult is absolutely obsessed with Barack Obama. So I decided to do some research to try and find out why the MAGA cult is so obsessed with Obama. Barack Obama has not been president for 10 years, and MAGA can't stop talking about him. They are literally obsessed with the man. They try and blame him for things that are happening today. That's not random. There's a psychological reason for that, although it seems a little creepy. Here are the 4 reasons the Trump cult is obsessed with President Obama. 1. The psychological wage of whiteness. In 1935, sociologist W.E.B. Du Bois at Atlanta University studied poor white Americans. White Americans, even the poor ones, with no money and no power, felt superior to black Americans. Not because they earned it, but because for 250 years the entire system told them they were superior to black people. The law said it, the church said it, the culture said it. Du Bois called it the psychological wage of whiteness. This is a status payment people collect just for being white, a floor that white people couldn't fall beneath. Then Barack Obama became president. He occupied the highest status role in the country. That destroyed the floor. And when a status floor breaks, people don't quietly adjust. They backlash. Obama didn't just win an election. He took something they didn't even know they were depending on. They didn't earn this special status, but they thought it was stolen when Barack Obama got elected, and they've been trying to take it back ever since. 2. Social identity threat. Psychologist Henry Teifel at the University of Bristol spent decades studying in-group conflict. What he found was when a member of an outgroup outperforms the in-group, the psychological response is not one of admiration, but hostility. Teifel called this social identity threat. A failed black president would have confirmed the Trump cult's worldview, but Obama, being polished, competent, scandal-free, and widely respected by world leaders, made it impossible to call him incompetent. The better Obama performed, the more threatening he became to the cult. Not because of his policies, but because his success directly contradicted everything they believe about the natural order of things. He wasn't supposed to be better. He wasn't supposed to be a gentleman and a scholar, and yet he was. That doesn't just go away. When weak, mediocre people see someone they believe was inferior reach the highest office in the country, they don't get inspired. They become filled with rage. They feel lied to, and they...
I hate that black motherfucker. I hate him. God damn it. We need a Trump.
That's how the fuck we ended up with President Trump, because y'all hate Barack Obama so motherfucking much. That shit is entertaining. I love it. Because no matter what, you can't change it. Like I say, my honest opinion is I didn't like every fucking thing he did, but do I have to? And should I? No. If it's shit that he did that I didn't like, then I'm fucking man enough to say that shit. And there's plenty of shit that I didn't like. But was he polished? Was he fucking smooth like blue suede motherfucking shoes? Yeah. Was he respected? Hell yes. Is he still respected? You motherfucking right. If you hate Barack Obama, it just shows your true colors. It shows what and who the fuck you are. And like I say, the truth shall set your dumb ass free.
Need someone to blame for the hate and rage. That target is Obama. Everything they could never be. 3. Scapegoating. Obama left office in 2017, but his name never left the conversation because Trump spent more than a decade smearing his name. It all started before Trump was even president. Trump spent years pushing the birther conspiracy, claiming Obama wasn't American, wasn't legitimate, wasn't one of us. That wasn't politics. That was a deliberate effort to strip Obama of his humanity and plant him in the minds of millions as the source of everything wrong. Then when Trump took office, the playbook continued. Every problem needed an explanation. Economy struggling? Obama's fault. Crime rate rising? Obama's fault. Anything going wrong in the country? Obama's fault. Psychologists call this scapegoating. Assign one figure as the source of all your problems and anxiety, which then collapses onto that single target. It feels like clarity to his followers. It feels like understanding. It isn't. Trump didn't just keep Obama's name alive. He spent over a decade turning him into the villain of the story. And to the Trump cult members, this story still is true.
Hey, Lauren, Pitbull pissed you off over there, didn't she? You throwing up American flags and satellites and all kind of bullshit. She got you mad in a motherfucker.
4. Cognitive dissonance. Here's what made the obsession permanent. The MAGA cult couldn't call Obama corrupt. There were no scandals. They couldn't call him incompetent. The record didn't support it. They couldn't even call him unpresidential. He was polished, disciplined, and respected around the world. Psychologist Leon Festinger at Stanford University studied what happens when people are confronted with evidence that contradicts their deeply held beliefs. Weak people don't update their beliefs when confronted with contradicting evidence. They double down on their original beliefs. Festinger called this cognitive dissonance. MAGA was left holding a belief system that Obama's entire existence disproved. And instead of resolving that contradiction by updating their worldview, they resolved it by hating him harder. The obsession isn't just political, it's psychological, and it has nowhere left to go. So it goes out onto everyone else in rage and obsession. Obama is living proof that the psychological wage of whiteness doesn't exist anymore. And to weak people who never earned that status in the first place,
Don't leave now, MAGA. It's medicine time, bitches.
it feels like an identity crisis. So they obsess more, say his name more, talk about him obsessively all the time. They even have a name for this now, Obama derangement syndrome. Because Obama didn't just win the presidency. He broke a hierarchy millions of people thought was permanent. And they've been trying to undo that moment ever since.
Lauren, you crashing out, babe. Lauren crashing out over that bitch. Get Lauren from behind the wheel. She is crashing.
I've been noticing for years that the Trump cult is absolutely obsessed with Barack Obama. So I decided to do some research to try and find out why the MAGA cult is so obsessed with Obama. Barack Obama has not been president for 10 years, and MAGA can't stop talking about him. They are literally obsessed with the man. They try and blame him for things that are happening today. That's not random. There's a psychological reason for that, although it seems a little creepy. Here are the 4 reasons the Trump cult is obsessed with President Obama.
Hey, I done seen Lauren go through motherfucking changes over this motherfucker. Hey, somebody check on Lauren, man. Make sure she fucking okay. Lauren, turn this broadcast up in the house so I can get you some help. Just hit the volume button. Go check on Lauren. She's not okay. Ain't no motherfucking way. She was in here talking like she was talking now. She want somebody to subscribe to the channel. What the fuck, Pitbull? You put that voodoo on her ass, didn't you?
1. The psychological wage of whiteness. In 1935, sociologist W.E.B. Du Bois at Atlanta University studied poor white Americans. White Americans, even the poor ones, with no money and no power, felt superior to black Americans. Not because they earned it, but because for 250 years the...
Hey, Lauren, I don't know you trying to be sarcastic, but you doing good. Bitch, you're doing good now. Don't that feel better? Ain't that better?
entire system told them they were superior to black people. The law said it, the church said it, the culture said it. Du Bois called it the psychological wage of whiteness. This is a status payment people collect just for being white, a floor that white people couldn't fall beneath. Then Barack Obama became president. He occupied the highest status role in the country. That destroyed the floor.
Let's see what they talking about. I like to do this sometimes, y'all. Let's see what they talking about in the chat. I mean, in this comment section. This is so true. This is from Danetta McKinney Shepherd. Looks like a white lady to me. I come from a rural town in the South. Many white MAGAs are inferior to President Obama and hate him for it. I think he and his family are amazing. I look up to him and wish he were still president. I had a white coworker, male, call me weak when I won a major military award. He was obviously upset that a black woman was 3 times better than he was. Me with my 2 master's degrees and high net worth was an abomination to him. I laughed at him. Just like we laugh at y'all, MAGA. Barack not only won by a landslide, he won the hearts of the people. Obama mocked Trump at correspondence dinner, and the greatest insult of all, Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize, coveted by Trump, but beyond his reach. It's because he has melanin in his skin. God damn. A white man said that? Damn. Travis Johnson? God damn.
Country. That destroyed the floor.
Travis Johnson kept it real on y'all ass. Let's see what else they talking about. He's black, he's black, he's black, and he's black. Oh my God. Obama was honored with the Nobel Peace Prize. The steam is still coming out of dear leaders' orifices. MAGA can put that in their pipes and smoke it too. They are so jealous of him because he's a very smart and intelligent black man. It's not just Obama. They've always had this fascination with black folks. Shit is weird. Damn. Y'all hear this shit, MAGA? Well said. I've been saying this for years, that basically, in a nutshell, we had a black man, an intelligent and respectful and professional black man as a president, and everyone went apeshit. The racists came out of the woodworks with the orange Nazi. I can't even give him the dignity of saying his name. Leading the charge with idiotic birther nonsense, and also putting the emphasis on his middle name, Hussein. Such a thinly veiled attempt at hiding the racist piece of shit that he is. The media didn't help either. Instead of shutting such nonsense down, they kept it front and center. Y'all hear this shit? They reading y'all ass y'all rights. Trump isn't qualified to shine Obama's shoes. God damn. Jealousy, hatred, and envy motivate more people than you know. The orange monster has a weakness for greed also. Trump may as well give it up. He'll never be the man Obama is. Never. And the woke cults is deeply mentally unstable with hate towards Trump. What do you call that? Lies and deception. Only the gullible. Y'all see the MAGA post? That shit don't even sound genuine. That shit sounds like a weak motherfucker. Thanks, Obama, for disenfranchising fragile white MAGA. And now we are deaking with this. Best explanation of hatred and psychology the felon has tapped into to elevate himself, and why the MAGA cult still supports this deranged grifter and coward. Interesting perspective. Now explain Hispanics and black MAGA. They still mad blacks were living in the White House. WEI, white, entitled, incompetent. They are obsessed with him. Creepy. It's because Obama screwed up the entire healthcare system. Shut up. America is what's wrong with America. Damn. Nailed it. MAGAs are real. MAGAs are all nuts. It's called racist. MAGAs are beginning to learn something when it comes to policing. They don't care who you are now. They don't care who you are nowadays. You will get a beat down from these rogue cops. So therefore, we're all the same. Yes, the fuck. ICE is out there, bitch, slapping everybody upside the head. But it's mostly white people. I hate to say it. Obama epitomes American excellence in education, values, and leadership. The world will never forget his achievements and good heart. Y'all hear the people. That's a fucking lie, bro. Obama White. What's a lie? Or maybe you talking to somebody in the comment section. W.E.B. Du Bois pronounced his name, surname, Du Bois. But it's Dubois, because it's French. It don't matter how you pronounce it. It's a French word. So it's pronounced the way it's fucking pronounced in French. You can say Du Bois in English, I guess. Rather than the etymologically, there we go. Correct French pronunciation you used here. All right. That was like a waste of fucking comment, bruh. Liberals never run out of idiots. You think you've heard it all, and the next hour, they run 10 more lying nitwits. MAGA calling somebody lying is hilarious. That's why I fell back, because I know he been with us. So whatever I read couldn't have been what I thought. Oh, all right, I got you. Yeah, I'm just reading, and sometimes I don't read who said it, so yeah, I be fucking up sometimes. He certainly lives rent-free in the heads of all MAGA cult followers. Real shit.
And when a status floor
Now we're trying to walk it back. I actually started realizing, like, I think this is exactly what I heard. That's what made me want to put it out to just make sure I'm not tripping. Like, y'all be the judge. This is what I heard, but don't take what I'm saying as facts. Like, I want y'all to listen too and see, like, let's converse about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see what y'all think y'all are hearing.
To trust that you know exactly what you're doing. How can we trust you with this audio enhancement?
It's what I do for a living. It's literally my profession. I have a bachelor's in music production and a master's in entertainment business. But with that bachelor's in music production from Full Sail, they also taught, audio engineering and things like that.
Alrighty, let's talk about it.
Let's MAGA Crash Outs episode 90. The woman being interviewed in that clip is the audio engineer who cleaned up the Nolan Wells audio from the call made to the Cito company. Guess what my degree is in? Music and entertainment industry studies with an emphasis in technology. In other words, recording arts. You know what I did the last year of my education? Forensic audio. Yeah, let's talk about it.
This woman had the audacity to go on this man's show and try to say that she was not spreading a narrative, and she was just trying to make sure that you all made up your own minds about what she knew she was hearing.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me that you have all this smoke for a black content creator, but not Nancy Grace, who used the exact same audio, not the edited version, and came to the exact same conclusions about what was being said. But no mention of that here.
An audio that she edited added an extra 20 seconds to the Cito call connected to the Norm Wells case. She also tried to say that she was qualified because of her experience and knowledge and education in music production. And she tried to say that with her bachelor in music production, she had education in audio engineering. Let me explain why this is not accurate. You are not qualified, and you did try to push a narrative.
And let me explain why it is accurate. She is qualified, and this narrative just happens to be substantiated by quite a bit of evidence.
Who I am now and what experience and education I have now. I have an associate's degree in commercial broadcasting with a specialty in communications, which is my qualifier for journalism and being a reporter.
So an associate's makes you qualified to be a journalist, along with commenting on audio engineering. You might want to be careful calling out other people's professional accreditations when yours are quite...
Your sports knowledge is about... There's an old saying that black people have always known white people better than we even know ourselves. And I'm going to prove to you why this is true in this video. Number one, the reason my words have always triggered white America is because I've done what most white folks are too terrified to do. I simply put the myth down. I walked away from the racial lies and the narcissistic narratives we were fed from birth. I stopped buying into the delusion that our comfort is the only reality that matters. I'm not talking to you from inside the white bubble anymore. I'm just talking from the outside. You see, there are two Americas. One is built on the hard truth, and the other is built on a white fairy tale. Black people have the clarity they have because they never bought into the myth of white supremacy. They knew it was a hustle from day one. But white America made a deal with that myth. We traded our soul and our connection to reality for a sense of superiority that doesn't even exist. And that's the God's truth. That's why white folks have zero credibility when you talk about race. We can't have credibility when you're living a lie, can you? And in 2026, we're seeing the receipts for that truth. Last month, 8 million people, mostly white folks, marched for No King's Day. They were out there screaming about fascism, affordability, and the loss of democracy under Trump's regime, like the house that just caught on fire this morning. But look at who's not in those streets. Black people largely set this one out. Why, you might ask? It's because black people tried to warn white people for years. They pointed at Trump and said, this is where this ends. They sounded the alarm on the racism, the corruption, and the rot. But white people didn't listen. We went ahead and supported this racist regime in massive numbers anyway, because we were too blinded by our own greed and our own fucking arrogance to care about who got crushed as long as we felt superior. Yes, we saw a great white, morally bankrupt narcissist that mirrored our white narcissism perfectly. Trump, the white man's racist messiah. See, white supremacy is a moral lobotomy. It has turned white America into toxic, delusional people. White narcissism spiritually stunts the person holding on to it. Fact. I know I was a racist. And we need to be clear. White supremacy isn't just the guys in the hoods or the extremists in the news. It's the everyday culture of white America. It's maintained by the average white person who either perpetrates it, denies it, or enables it through a cold, calculated apathy. It's all that silence that gives it permission to breathe. We thought we were the owners of the machine, but we were just the next ones on the menu. Now that the smoke is finally reaching our front doors, we're acting shocked. But black people aren't shocked. They've been looking at us from the outside for centuries, seeing the truth of our chaos while we were busy getting high on our myths. We spend all day, every day, spewing 1,000 false narratives and lies about race, indoctrinating ourselves with a belief system that keeps us trapped in this myth. No, black people aren't coming to save us this time. They're standing back, watching white people fuck around and find out what happens when you build a world on a fucking lie. That's why, despite the struggle, if you ask a black person if they would ever want to trade places and be white, the answer is almost always a resounding no. They'd rather keep their soul in their clarity than inherit our racist soul-crushing delusion. Because at the end of the day, black people have always known white people better than we have ever dared to know ourselves. They've always understood that white supremacy was never just about power. It was a form of enslavement for the white.
Is y'all feeling this? Or no?
Man. And ultimately, it is our destruction. So white America, I'm going to leave you with this. James Baldwin told us, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it's fucking faced.
That's some DC flavor for you right there. Early.
Yes, sir. John, appreciate.
Sir, sir, can you scan my business card if you need any work or anything like that?
Scan your business card. What?
Thank you, sir.
Hold up. Let me get this right. So this week, I have seen so much content that says something along the lines of, don't let politics ruin your friendships. Do not let politics get in the way of your relationships. So much content that shares this sentiment, and I've looked into it genuinely, and from my perspective, I can see across the board unanimously that type of outspeak is coming specifically from either A, somebody who doesn't actively oppose Donald Trump's candidacy, or B, somebody who genuinely supports and sympathizes with Donald Trump. And it made me wonder why. Why is it people that hold space for a man like Donald Trump, why is it that those people are also the people having to pitch some sort of disclaimer saying politics shouldn't affect your personal relationships? Could it be because you want to be able to, at some capacity, enable, endorse, and empower a man like that who's done the things he's done into a position of power without suffering the consequences for it? Now look, I get it. You want to be so disconnected from politics that it doesn't affect you.
Iran just dropped another Lego propaganda video. Check it out. Iran just dropped another Lego propaganda video. Check it out.
The gospel will not bend.
Hey, Pitbull, is this the joint right here? Hey, Pit, is this the new one you was talking about?
He built a throne of gold and flame, wrapped every cross around his name. He raised the walls, he closed the door. He closed the door, then asked what mercy.
I can't listen to that shit. I'm sorry.
Consequences for it. Now look, I get it. You want to be so disconnected from politics that it doesn't affect your personal lives. However, we have all lived in the same America for the last decade. We've seen and heard the warnings. We've seen and heard people ringing and sounding the bell. You can't ignore the bell, ignore their warnings, ignore their cries, and then expect it to not affect your personal life. You're gonna lose some friends, and with all due respect, rightfully so. Whether or not you can relate to the warnings doesn't matter. Did you listen?
Why would they? Lego was made in Denmark, I believe. He was talking shit about them.
To them? Did you hold space for them? And did you care for your neighbor the way you care for that man? Because people were telling you, and I'm assuming it's people that look different than you, love different than you.
I believe that they're in cahoots, Rafa.
Due respect, rightfully so. Whether or not you can relate to the warnings doesn't matter. Did you listen to them? Did you hold space for them? And did you care for your neighbor the way you care for that man? Because people were telling you, and I'm assuming it's people that look different than you, love different than you, and live different than you in a different place, in a different setting. And I'm assuming it's those people that you can't genuinely, personally relate to that warned you, please do not let a man like that, who does and says the things he does, into a position of power. It threatens my life. It threatens my well-being. It threatens my existence. And you were like, no, it's chill. You're overreacting. You're misled. You're brainwashed. And therefore, you still put that man, regardless of the warnings, into power. With all due respect, I am sorry if some of us aren't as apathetic or nonchalant in our fight against oppression. But I don't think you're going to get away with endorsing him and it not affecting you. Copy. Hold up. Let me get this right. So this week, I have seen so much content that says something along the lines of, don't let politics ruin your friendships. Do not let politics get in the way of your relationships. So much content that shares this sentiment, and I've looked into it genuinely, and from my perspective, I can see across the board unanimously that type of outspeak is coming specifically from either A, somebody who doesn't actively oppose Donald Trump's candidacy, or B, somebody who genuinely supports and sympathizes with Donald Trump. And it made me wonder why. Why is it people that hold space for a man like Donald Trump, why is it that those people are also the people having to pitch some sort of disclaimer saying politics shouldn't affect your personal relationships? Could it be because you want to be able to, at some capacity, enable, endorse, and empower a man like that who's done the things he's done into a position of power without suffering the consequences for it? Now look, I get it. You want to be so disconnected from politics that it doesn't affect your personal lives. However, we have all lived in the same America for the last decade. We've seen and heard the warnings. We've seen and heard people ringing and sounding the bell. You can't ignore the bell, ignore their warnings, ignore their cries, and then expect it to not affect your personal life. You're gonna lose some friends, and with all due respect, rightfully so. Whether or not you can relate to the warnings doesn't matter. Did you listen to them? Did you hold space for them? And did you care for your neighbor the way you care for that man? Because people were telling you, and I'm assuming it's people that look different than you, love different than you, and live. And I'm assuming.
And healthcare. Infrastructure worthy of the richest.
If you're over 30 without life insurance, have you heard about this new type that pays you while you're still alive?
Thousands of former Department of Justice officials who were pretty high up the ranks as DOJ officials, they're striking back against the Trump regime and the acting Attorney General, Todd Blanche. Todd Blanche is set to have his confirmation hearing in the United States Senate. And about 1,200, and I think it's going to be more than that because I think more people are joining this letter or sending letters of their own, but at least 1,200 former top DOJ officials have sent a letter to Chuck Grassley and Dick Durbin, who are the two heads of the Senate Judiciary Committee, explaining why Todd Blanche, deeply unqualified, betrayed his oath of office, and why appointing him as the actual Attorney General, not the acting, would be completely and utterly catastrophic for the rule of law. And let me just share with you this powerful letter that was sent by these 1,200 former DOJ officials. They say, "Dear Chairman Grassley and Ranking Member Durbin, we serve the public at the Department of Justice."
And I'm assuming it's people that look different than you, love different than you, and live different than you in a different place, in a different setting. And I'm...
Hey, y'all. So the comments on my most recent posts is a perfect case study in racism. Let's talk about it. The same people, not all of them, but the same people who preach respect, family values, and love thy neighbor have zero problem filling my comment section with racial slurs, hateful stereotypes, and personal attacks based simply off of they don't like who I associate with because of their skin color. Right. So if your first
Hey, Pitt, we down to like 21. What you think? Should we start over or should we? Because, you know, sometimes it turn around after a little bit. Like, we could sit in here for probably like another 20 minutes and it might go crazy again. I seen that happen. you seen it happen too, so.
reaction to seeing someone of a different race as hatred, insults, or dehumanizing language, that's not having an opinion, baby. That's racism. And get this, the irony
All right, give me 5 minutes.
is that my post exposed people